What's up? What's up, guys? Welcome into another episode of Jammin with J Money from SportsbookReview.com. Man, we're trying to get to some more money today. You know what I'm saying? Just like we have been doing. I know Saturday was a real good day for me. Yesterday stayed away, really stayed away. I like to stay away on Sundays, man. But I know Saturday was a really nice day for me, man. Made some nice cash there. What's up, Jordan? Everything cool with you? Your weekend was cool?
Yeah, man, all good here. Didn't have a great weekend hitting the picks, mainly because the Nets kind of failed me early in that game against the Rockets on Saturday. I had the points with them in the first half and the full game, and that's what really set me off from having a good Saturday because I smashed Ivica Zubac's prop as soon as I saw that Montrezl Harrell got ruled out that later that night. So if it wouldn't have been for the Nets, which was my biggest play of the day on Saturday, would have had a real nice day. And then I'm same here. I don't really bet on Sunday that much, and if I do, it's very light. So not a whole lot to report back from yesterday's small slate, but a little small card today as well. So it's not a bad one, but not a great one either. We're going to touch on that here in a little bit. But yeah, to answer your question, not good, but not bad either.
Yeah, your fellow Pacer fan, Indiana guy Tony Denny was on here on Saturday with me, man, and I know we got to some money on Saturday. I know
Yeah.
the Pacers. I ended up did laying off of the Pacers. Obviously once Brogdon was ruled out in there, I'm glad I laid off of that one. That was really the only loss on the show that we talked about. I know the with the Boston and Toronto game, man. I told my guy it was the day of the unders, man. The Boston and Toronto, I was on that under. We cashed the under with the Knicks versus Wizards. Easy cash with I took the Knicks too, but that was a personal play. They mentioned on the show. We cashed that under, the under in Atlanta and Bulls game, cashed that under. And I hit some parlays too, man. That was absolutely lovely on Saturday. The Cavs in Minnesota, obviously once we saw Love ruled out, Wiggins, and I told people on the show, if Wiggins and Towns ruled out, we knew Towns out. Wiggins ruled out, smashing under. 94 to 88, man. It was just, I mean, I had put the Cavs and the under on the parlay, man. It was a good day, man. I had the match. I took the match when I got him at the plus 12. My bookie is probably pissed. I got him. They didn't change it yet. He had it at 12. And so I'm hitting him, and then I tried to put a last in. He was like, "No, I'm not taking that when the line changed." So he finally realized, but got to hit him up for a good grand or two before he realized. Then he gonna change the line. I cashed that one barely backdoor, but final score on the thing that matters, man. The Lakers went up there and beat up on Portland, Utah Jazz. They beat, and that was another one. Tony put me on that one. I was looking at the Jazz plus the 9. When he said that he was definitely on it, I went on ahead and roll with him. The Mavs blew shit out the Warriors by 20 points. That was easy there. So it was a nice day on Saturday, man. Like I say, I didn't really do a whole lot yesterday. I was out with my family and stuff yesterday, so yesterday doing, you know what I'm saying, shopping and stuff, all types of, when the bookies paying us out cash, I just tell, hey, we go shopping, man. We go buy whatever the hell we want, man. I'm finna
Head
move
straight
to
to the
another
mall.
apartment and stuff, so we shopping for the new spot and stuff. But yeah, yesterday OKC, I was on the under in that spot, man. That was my only play yesterday. OKC and Toronto, the under. I almost went to overtime, man, but we cashed that one. The Hornets end up losing to the Memphis over there. I know Jay Crowder said in that one. Hornets looking terrible right now. The Rockets got their ass bust. I did end up taking the under that one late once James Harden got ruled out, but also was on the Pelicans. Well, these is all personal plays, man. So I didn't put this out to anybody. Did cast Pelicans, lost on the under in that one. And Sacramento lost again. I know Fox came back. Let's see. Gary Harris didn't play in that game, so I should have hopped on the Kings, man, in that one plus the 8, plus the 9. They end up cashing. The Mavs lost to the Lakers last night. Luka possibly could be out the next game, man. Took a hard fall to the floor. He did come back, but he's probably gonna be a little injured. We got Junior here. What's up, Junior? How was your weekend?
Pretty quiet. I was actually kind of busy, so I didn't have too many plays. Didn't do too well on the few plays that I had, so just looking to get back into the swing of things on this Monday morning and, get to this money. There's a lot of good games coming out.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm always about that, man. Probably trying to get to the money too much, man. But I try to keep everything balanced. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we got to pay bills, right? So I mean, even if you don't love money, you still got to have it to survive. So it is what it is. I don't have no job. This is my job, man. This is my 9 to 5. So that's why I say I'm always trying to get to some money. If I want some money, I got to go and get it for myself, man. Let's go ahead and get to this first game. I can't say the only one that I've made a play on so far, and I did. It's tough to give it out now. I did hop on the under here at 211.5. I knew it was gonna be going going. I knew it was going to be steaming down. Then Aaron Gordon got ruled out as well. Goes down even more. It's pushing 208.5 now at some spots. So we know without Trae Young, with the Hawks only muster up 80, 81 points versus the Bulls team. This is another great defensive team they're going up against. And I could see them struggling again to get to 90 points in this spot. I took the under in this spot. Still down to 209. I mean, you still losing value, but me personally, I think if it goes under, I don't think we'll have nothing to worry about. It is kind of a low total. Hopefully the Magic folks don't get in there try to run and gun with the Hawks, because we know that they can try to probably push the pace, try to get more points this one. But I still had to take the under in this one with no Trae Young. I'll be betting these unders in the near future until they show me they can get 100 points without him. So I took the under in this spot. I did get it at 211.5. It's down to 209. I still like it. Maybe a little smaller play. You see the Magic coming down from 12.5 to 10.5 now. I'm not looking at the side in this one. I'm just not. I still need to see how the Hawks play more without Young. I mean, they went and got blew out by 30 versus the Bulls, but I just like the under. I like for it to be a defensive game in this one. What you thinking in this spot, Jordan?
Yeah, I think that number that you got is definitely very good, especially now in hindsight that Aaron Gordon got ruled out for the Magic, because I mean he's low key a pretty big part of their offense outside of Vucevic. I'd say between him and Fournier, kind of like 2A and 2B for them offensively. So I mean that's still a pretty big loss, and he's a pretty good defender as well. I think this is a game I'm probably going to stay away from entirely. If you're taking the points with Atlanta, I mean more power to you if you cash that, but I'm not going to do it tonight simply because, just like Jay said, it's just very unknown how they're going to continue to play without Trae Young, even though they do have several guys that can initiate the offense. Kevin Huerter's been taken over now. They got DeAndre Bembry coming off the bench who can run the point guard position. So there is some question marks, and I don't think that you're necessarily on a bad play if you're taking points with Atlanta, but I'm just not bold enough to do it myself. And I think like now the total at 209, I think you're really playing with fire if you add the under to this one still, even though it's just like Jay said, it's going to be very hard for Atlanta to score, I think, and initiate their offense without Young on the court. This game I might hit up some props in, like Aaron Gordon out now. John Isaac might look like a pretty good play, but now that the news is old, he may have already been steamed up already enough to where I might just lay off entirely. So probably my least favorite game of the slate. So not a whole lot of value coming out of me from this game, I don't think.
What you liking in this spot, Junior?
I like your guys' look on the under, but I haven't been able to hit a total to save my life for the last week, so I'm just kind of turned off by all totals in general. I'm just going to, get back to work and kind of study that more. So for now, I'm just taking sides. That being said, I'm taking the Magic first half -6.5 for a couple of reasons. I want to touch on something Jordan said. I don't know if you disagree, Jordan, but when I watch Orlando play, and even just looking at the raw numbers, I feel like their offense might be a little smoother without Aaron Gordon, for the simple fact that right now he's a power forward who's shooting 40% from the field, 29% from three. He's been a pretty big disappointment if you consider, where he was drafted. He's a lottery pick, and all these years later, I mean, he's only 24, but he's been in the NBA since he was 19. He hasn't really gotten much better. I think that without him in the lineup, the ball might move smoother. Like, if you just look at the way that he's built as a player, you would think that a lot of his offense comes from inside, but he really even doesn't get that many points in the paint. I don't want to be long-winded in my reasoning, but I think that their offense will be fine without him. I think their defense always comes to play. And if you look on the flip side for Atlanta, in their last game without Trae Young, you had John Collins that took 26 shots, Huerter that took 12 shots. Nobody else took more than 8 or 9 shots for the rest of the team. It's just a mishmash, of a bunch of just bodies. But what's the system? How's that going to work? You can't take out a guy with a usage rating as high as Trae Young's and think that that's not going to have a huge effect on how their offense works. He's not only their best scorer and one of the best scorers in the league, if we're just being realistic. He's by a country mile their best playmaker. Their second best playmaker, whoever we think that might be, is below average in my opinion. So all of these things lead me to believe that against this Orlando defense, they're going to really, really they're not scoring 100 points in this game. I'll tell you that. For whatever that's worth. So I'm taking Orlando first half.
Junior, real quick, I want to just touch on something you just said real quick, because I think their offense actually is better without Gordon on the court, because that allows John Isaac to move down to the power forward spot, his more natural position. He's just an absolute beast. I think he's still blossoming as a player. I'm a big John Isaac fan, and it also gets Terrence Ross into the starting lineup, who we know is a plus offensive player. So I think that obviously I think is the big factor in this one, where I'm definitely not taking the points with the Hawks for people who are, because I saw that was a conversation. I just think their offense is better, and their defense may not lose that much without Gordon. So I think you're exactly right.
Yeah, the way I'm looking at it, man, the last 3 games, the Magic can kind of flex their muscle defense, man. They getting back to their defensive ways of not really pushing the pace. Like I say, if the Hawks don't, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I mean, it is scary, and I didn't go large on it. I hate that it said 209 now, but I got some value. It's just something that I had to take. I mean, Trae Young out. Until they hit an over, I'm going to be taking the under every single time. It's one of those things where I still got money from me cashing at the last one. If I lose it, then, hey, it is what it is, but it's something I just have to take, especially with the way the Magic been playing defense lately. Be interesting to see if the Hawks can get over 100 here. I don't think so. I don't think they touch 90 if the Magic come to play defensively. It just is what it is, man. Let's get to another spot. We got the Heat versus Washington here. Obviously Heat coming off a huge win. Now they're going on the road, laying was open at 9.5. Now it's down to 8.5. Obviously it'll be interesting to see if Beal's going to play here in this spot. That's the big thing with me. Obviously Beal's going to make a big difference in this game. The Heat, like I say, could be a little letdown spot. And I don't have a look in this game. What you thinking in this spot, Junior? I know you follow the Heat closely.
Yeah. Do you know what's going on with Bradley Beal? Is he playing or not? Do you have any idea?
No, and from what I can still see, he's questionable. So I mean, did you have anything, Jordan? Did you have anything that you know that we don't know? I'm just seeing questionable. You know, Hachimura's still out, Bertan's still out. I mean, they got Gary Payton Jr. You know what I'm saying, out there, or the second.
I took Heat.
You know, so
yeah. Sorry, I took Heat first half full game in the spot. I mean, already know I always go heavy on the Heat regardless. I just think without Bradley Beal, now you're going to tell me that you're relying on Isaiah Thomas to be your leading scorer against this Heat defense. I just don't really like the way that looks for Washington's perspective. Like, we talk about Washington a lot on this show. And the fact of the matter is, I personally have doubted them the whole entire way. So I'm not trying to say that I've known Washington to, I knew they were going to be who they are. But how many more injuries could they really sustain before this starts to slow down? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're missing literally their 3 best scorers at this point, with Bradley Beal having an injury problem. So I just think that the Heat, the way they're playing, they've been beating quality teams. They've gotten a lot of quality wins. They've beaten the 76ers, the Pacers, the Jazz all in a row. I just like what I see from them. Obviously, I'm biased because I cash with the Heat a lot. But yeah, I just think that Washington is in a really, really tough position just to be able to come up with points, which has been their MO this season. Because there's one thing that they definitely won't do, and that's play defense. So I'm just all over the Heat right here.
Yeah,
I'm surprised it's not double digits, honestly.
One thing is scary with me, man. I definitely don't like that. I mean, the line movement is super sketchy to me. We know the Heat are light years better than them. It could come out and blow them out 20 by 30 easily. Maybe with the line going down, maybe they think that Bill's going to play. It's the only way I could see. If Bill does play, I can't say I'll be scared for the points for the Heat. I remember that last game when I was on the Heat, it was 9.5. They were favored by 9.5 at the house. The Heat had to outscore them 26-18 in the fourth quarter to win that game by 9. They were bullshitting the whole game. Even though the Wizards don't play any defense, they let the Wizards stay in the game the whole fun game. Bill didn't really have it. They did have Bertans. Bill didn't have a huge game. He only had 23 points, went 4 for 10 from 3-point land and 7 for 17 from the field. So it just scares me here. Now they're at the house. They are 1-5 ATS, their last 6 home games. I mean, I'm not forcing a bet here. It's just that simple. I don't like.
Can I just say something, Jay, on what you just said? And I don't. Do you remember that during that time? During that time, the Heat had a stretch where they let the Wizards, the Bulls, and the Hawks kind of hang around with them at home. They were really. Do you remember that? Like, they were not really covering spreads at that time at home. Bullshit. I just think that they turned the corner from that little stretch, but I do understand why you would be wary of, because we've already seen this. So it is possible that they take them for granted, but I just feel like the way that they're playing most recently, they're just on a roll right now.
Yeah, and that was definitely where Bertans. That was definitely with him coming out there hitting those threes. A little bit was a little bit of a matchup problem for the Heat there. A lot of people don't, you know what I'm saying? They seem like they forget that he can be busting them threes to get hot. But like I say, it's not one that I'm forcing on. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if you guys like it, go ahead. I hope you guys cash your bets. It's just not something I'm forcing on. Let's. Did you have a game? Did you have a look in this spot, Jordan?
I don't until I know Beal's status. I think if Beal's out, I think Junior's on the right track. But I also want to caution anyone who's slamming the Heat in this one. They have a negative net rating on the road, both in the first half and the full game. They're giving up more points than they're scoring on the road this season. They are a completely different team when they go on the road. And just like you guys talked about, if Beal's out, even if he's out, they may not take this team seriously. And Washington is going to, continue to play hard. These are guys that are like trying to establish themselves in their NBA careers now. Guys who may not have been on. I mean, Gary Payton the second just got signed by them, and he's playing really well. Like some of these guys are playing for their lives. So I don't want to mess with that and be laying the points with the Heat here either way, just because of how bad they've been. Not want to say they've been bad on the road, but they have not been as good for sure. And it's a huge drop off from their home split. So that's the biggest thing I'm worried about. I think that's why you're seeing this line kind of tick downwards. If Beal's in, I'd see it. I could see it going down to 7.5 potentially too, just with the way the Heat's been playing on the road. And like you guys said, they just don't necessarily take every game seriously, it seems like at this point.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right with that one. I mean, I don't even have to look at the numbers to see that the Heat went over there and lost to the Grizzlies. I mean, I know the Grizzlies is playing well, but I don't care what nobody says. He shouldn't look. The Heat are a much better team. I know the Grizzlies can be scrappy, but you're right, bro. It's what it is. They don't look the same on the road. You know me. They coming off a huge win, so it's something that it's tough for get up back to back like that. But obviously, no Beal. I mean, the Wizards would be way outmatched. With no Beal, that's the only way you could look at is the Heat. So I mean, obviously, Heat should catch with ease if Beal's not in there. No matter Gary Payton playing good or not. Him and Isaiah Thomas is just not enough. And look, Isaiah Thomas and Gary Payton, look at that. On the same, you know what I'm saying? Oh no, they the Suns. They the Suns, man. See, got Gary Payton back here on the poster, man. But let's get to the next game, man. We only got 6 games today. We got the Bucks versus Chicago here. Line going down to 6.5. Don't know if Lauri Markkanen is going to play. I'm thinking he's leaning towards not playing. Obviously, it's not looking like Giannis might play in this game. We saw the Bucks play really well even without Giannis. So I know the Bulls been playing really good defense lately, and it scares me, man. How we know the Giannis is probably the MVP of the league. I mean, still, even if somebody else gets it this year, he's the reigning MVP, one of the most valuable players to a team than the Bucks. I mean, they're a deep squad though. They just keep on pushing. Like I say, even though I had the match the other day, I was like, damn, no, I'm still finna lose money. Even though I got the best of the line, I'm still finna lose. End up cashing, but it was scary, man. Bucks, they showed their depth, even without Giannis. Won the past 2 games with ease, and those games went under as well, man. They flexed their defense without Giannis. Past 5 of 6 games have went under with the Bucks here. Y'all know me with the Bulls, man. They've been playing defense as well. Past 3 out of 4 games went to under. This might be a little sneaky under spot here. The Bulls definitely not scoring 116 again. That was just against the Hawks. They did hold them 81 though. I mean, game before that, it was 103-95 in Orlando. So, I mean, they played a game that went less than 200. That one, I think 219 may be too many points, man, if Giannis in this one. What you thinking with the numbers in this one, Jordan?
You're exactly right. I think I looked at this game last night and I was thinking that, the steam's going to chase it downward, and I wake up and it's 3 points higher than it was. That scares me a little bit, obviously, but if Giannis is out again, I mean, I can't see. I mean, I can't see the Bucks having 120 in this one. I mean, even though they've been really good in divisional games this year, which is kind of strange. But the Bulls play pretty good defense. Not taking anything away from that side of the ball from them, and like you said, Markkanen being out, I think is big. But also with the Bucks, it looks like Eric Bledsoe is going to make his return tonight as well, so that really helps them, especially if Giannis is out. Got him and Middleton back there in the backcourt. I don't think that Satoransky, Chris Dunn, and Levine and those guys are going to be able to handle them defensively in that if Bledsoe's back and clicking, and the time off really doesn't get him any rust. So that scares me a little bit. For the under, if the Bucks do, come here and, just say, hey, we know you're a good defensive team. We're going to show you that we're the best team in the league and still drop 120 on them. So I think it's probably a game I'm laying off of. The Bulls, they play this game at the pace that they want to play it in and don't allow the Bucks to dictate the pace, I think you're right. I think the under cashes, but that's just not something I'm willing to bet on right now because I really just can't bet on the Chicago Bulls doing anything correct right now outside of playing good defense. I could see them still playing good defense and letting the Bucks dictate pace, and this one running at like 105 possessions or more, and the over end up cashing. It's just way too many variables for me at this point to make a bet on this game, especially on the total with the steam going upward at this point.
Exactly. Y'all know me, man, about forcing bets. I'm leaning towards under. I hadn't touched it yet. Obviously, marking it, he's questionable. I'm thinking that he's going to be doubtful, man. I don't think that he's going to play today, but we'll see. These teams have played 2 times already this year. First meeting was the Bucks 124 to 115. Second meeting was Bucks in Chicago. They went under. The Bucks had 115. The Bulls had 101. I could see that. I could see some shit like that happening again. And look, both of those totals were 229 and 231. Now they adjusting it a lot, 219. So it is pretty big adjustment, and it could have you something where you're saying you are leaning to the over. But the Bucks number 1 in defensive rating last five games, and the Bulls are number 2. There you go, right there. I could only look towards under in this spot. It's that fucking simple. I gave you the stats, man. We're gonna go. I'm gonna give y'all some college picks, man. I'm gonna give you guys some college picks. Calm down, man. I got you. Ain't nothing start. ain't nothing that's finna start here in a sec. What you finna say?
Thirsty. I was just saying the chat's thirsty for picks.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna get them. We're gonna get, and I got some shit today too. I like college. Some of these days like this, man. I look at my college. I like them picks even more than the NBA. But what you got in this game, Junior?
I'm staying away from this game, but if you got Chicago at +8 when that was the opening line, that's a pretty good price, I think, because we've been on this for a while now, right? So if I'm going to talk shit about you, if you're doing good, I gotta acknowledge that. Last week when we spoke on Monday, the Bulls were 9th in the NBA in defensive rating. A week later, they're 7th in the NBA in defensive rating. So this is not like an anomaly that what we're seeing. This is becoming who they are. In the last 10 games, they're number 1 in the league in defensive rating. So it's real. Like, they're really playing real defense. That being said, nobody seems to be able to stop the Bucks from scoring. But if the Bulls, I just want to pay attention to what happens in this game for the simple fact that if the Bulls now can stop Milwaukee from, scoring a huge amount of points, which they seem to be able to do against anybody, right? Like they scored 111 points against Orlando without Giannis. That's you got to look at that as being really impressive. I think that the Bulls have to be taken pretty seriously as a defensive team. Now, something that Jordan mentioned, Bulls are 13th in the league in pace, which to me, I look at that as translating to they can just play at whatever pace the opponent plays at. If the opponent slows it down, they can do that. If the opponent wants to run a gun, they can do that. And that kind of scares me off of the under. And also, I mentioned at the top of the show, kind of just staying away from totals for this week after the bad week I had last week with those. I just want to kind of, recalibrate the way that I'm capping these totals. So I would say it would have to be, I can't even believe I'm saying this, but it have to be Chicago or nothing in this spot if I could take the points with a team that's playing solid defense. And, you know what I'm saying? The Bucks, no matter how deep they are, if you're missing basically the best player in the NBA, you can't overlook that. That has to be taken seriously. They're not going to play like that every game. I know Bledsoe's coming back, but he's a non-shooter even on a good day. You have to figure he's going to be a bit rusty after all this time off.
Yeah, time off from basketball players, you're going to be rusty. I don't give a damn who you are. I mean, you might shake it off after a little while, but in that first quarter, But
yo, Jay, not to interrupt you, we love Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan took some time off, came back rusty as shit. Even the best ever. You can't take time off of basketball and not be rusty. It's impossible.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm a hooper, man. It's going to be tough to get back out there running and gunning like that, even if your shot's not that off. Getting back up running down the court against competition is pretty tough. It's not like running against your old team, man. My thing is, the Bucks going to lose one of these games without Giannis. Could damn well come today. They're not going to win every fucking guy. No, they look good without him and shit, but it's still a big drop off there, man, without having your go-to player. If they face the right defensive team with the right scheme, the Bucks are beatable without Giannis. I mean, they've been playing way over their heads. We'll see. Like my guy said, though, if you could have got that +8, I mean, maybe even +7, 6.5 now. You know what I'm saying? You might could get 7 by. A lot of the public don't even look at injuries. You might be able to get 7 by halftime. By game time. So we'll see. It's not one I'm forced on. I can only look towards the under next spot. Let's get to the next game, man. We got the Nets versus Timberwolves here. And if Wiggins is not, I don't think Towns playing. He probably won't out. He probably won't even fucking play again until he gets traded. If Wiggins doesn't play, man, I gotta smash the Nets, bro. I absolutely have to. I mean, the line is already moving up. My book still got it 3.5 right now. It's moving up to 4. Nets 9. I know they lost 2 in a row. They 9-2 ATS in their last 11 games after an ATS loss. I mean, they just lost back to back. I mean, if the Nets come to play, and Trevon Graham is questionable in this spot. If they come to play here, man, the Nets should bust the Timberwolves up, man. It's really that fucking simple. It really is. You can look at all the stats you want, all this. Nets are a much better team. They are on the road, but they've been beasts coming off ATS loss. They lost to New York. That was a terrible game at the house. Then you go down to Houston. I mean, it wasn't necessarily the good spot to back them, which they almost covered a late bucket there by Westbrook. You know what I'm saying? When they're going from being 8 to 10, so they really. And I was glad. I'm like, okay, another ATS lost by 10. Cool. Next game, who they face? The Wolves. I was, you know what I'm saying, licking my chops already. Obviously, and if Wiggins does play, I still think that the Nets will be the play, but you'll get a better number with it. So, like I say, me personally, especially when I put my big bets in, I wait until the last minute, man. I think that's how the sharp guys do it as well. I know in Vegas, that's when the limits get raised and all this type of stuff, but you wait till the last minute. I'm talking about 5 minutes before the game, man. You know all the injury. Well, now they got to let out the injuries 30 minutes before the game, so you can hammer it in when it goes out, man. I mean, I like the Nets here, man. I hadn't bet it yet, but I think this is a get-right spot versus the Timberwolves here. And I was very tempted by the under as well, man. I know the Nets defense hadn't been there later. The last 2 games went under by a mile. I mean, when you hold the Rockets to that 108 there, I'm like, maybe the defense, maybe they trying to play some defense again, because for a while there, they were starting to run and gun a little bit, and it was kind of messing my head, because I think the Nets are, in theory, I think they're a defensive team, especially with Dinwiddie being their main scorer. You stop him, double-team him, that does scare me a little bit, because you just double. If I'm the coach, I'm double teaming Dinwiddie. I'm making everybody else beat me. It's that fucking simple. That's the game plan. So, what you thinking in this game, Junior?
It would have to be Brooklyn or nothing. Minnesota. What's going on with Minnesota? If you're making an argument to me that you should back Minnesota as a basketball team in any situation with money that you earned, what would your starting argument be in that situation? You know what I'm saying? Like,
even money that I didn't earn, I'm not putting it on the Wolves.
What's that?
I just said even money I didn't earn, I'm not putting it on the Wolves.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so that being said, I want no part of the Wolves. It would have to be Brooklyn or nothing. Brooklyn has the complete opposite mindset of the Wolves. Brooklyn's missing their 2 superstars in Kyrie and KD. Obviously, KD isn't going to play for the whole season. The point I'm trying to make is, and they're playing harder. They're the opposite of tanking. They're the opposite of wanting out in Brooklyn. They come to play every game. I think that the presence that they have inside, if Towns is not going to be there, I think that Brooklyn's 2 bigs will dominate the boards, which will lead to, because this is one thing about Brooklyn is this. If you look at their splits, offensively, they're exactly the same on the road as they are at home. And that's important, because if they can just get this a better defensive effort than they usually get on the road, because obviously their defensive effort on the road is a little bit lagging. I think that in this specific spot, Minnesota's players, without their stars, who's the biggest threat on Minnesota left if Wiggins and Towns are around? So it would have to be Brooklyn or nothing for me. I have no play on this game, though.
Exactly. Yeah, and I know Jordan like to look at the tanking teams, man. I don't see the Timberwolves wanting to win that game. Jordan, you say about tanking, that game versus the Cavs, they gave the game away, and they didn't win. I was glad I was on the Cavs. I wasn't on the money line. I had them plus the points, and it was easy. That Cavs plus the points and the under on their game was as easy as it gets. I love this time of year when players sitting players out and short, just tipping their hand, showing that they don't want to win. This shit can get easy, man. Really can. You look at the Wolves, their past 6 games have went under. Past 6 games have went under. A total under team right now. They haven't been run up and down the court like they used to. Some tell me this game go under, man. I know I've been playing a lot of unders lately. I think we're getting to that time where some of these teams starting to run up and down the court, or actually try to play some defense, or just can't score. I've been cashing these unders lately, man. I tell you, this look like a damn under spot, man. I know a lot of people liking over, but I'm this close to taking this under, and I really do think that the Nets are the right side in this game. And the people in the chat, man, where the dispensaries at, man? Y'all got deals that they must let y'all get shit free in the dispensary. Somebody gassed up in his chat, boy. I don't know what you boys talking about. I ain't gonna spend too much time on it, but Jordan is the greatest of all time by far. You see the chain,
I
you
swear
see
to
the
God,
shirt,
Jay Money, I'm
you see
answering
the
somebody right
background.
now. Homeboy's talking
Do I need
about
to put the hat on for you? Look,
talking
don't
about
talk about Jordan
we
in the
should
chat, man.
watch
I will
Jordan
end the
versus
show
Bird
right
with the
now. Nah,
volume
I'm messing
off.
with you.
Yo, son, are you trying? Is his argument that Bird wasn't getting love from commentators? Are you insane? Larry Legend wasn't getting love from commentators,
Oh my
bro.
God.
Bro. If you were a lawyer, that would be the worst argument of all time. Who's more loved by commentators than Larry Legend? He played the game the right way, right? He didn't rely on athleticism like MJ. Come on, son. Don't come at me with I need to listen to Bird versus Jordan with the volume down. You need to fix
Yeah,
your
no.
argument, son.
Now Jordan
They need to
Jordan
go.
was absolutely unstoppable. And let's just leave it at that. On both ends. And if he wanted to stop you on defense, you weren't getting past him. It's that simple. One of the
Defensive player
most
of the year.
serious players ever to play the NBA game, and it showed on the if he wanted to win, Jordan was not losing the game. And it's that simple. I don't have to argue that. I don't have to. Jordan, what did you have on this Nets versus Wolves game? You think the Nets the right side here? You think the Wolves are tanking?
Man, first of all, whoever was talking about Larry Legend needs to go watch the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson documentary on HBO, and you can tell me how much the world and commentators love Larry Legend. So there's the point I want to make on that. And also, Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. Please never make that argument in the chat. You can see yourself out at any time if you don't believe that. Now, back to the task at hand. I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna talk you into the under here, Jay Money, because I got it at 220, and I love that because it's already down to 218.5 at some shops, and I think it's going to continue to go down. I hit it as soon as I saw that Wiggins did participate in shoot around because I think you're exactly right. I'd be surprised if I would not be surprised if we've seen the last of Karl Anthony Towns in a Minnesota Timberwolves uniform. There are too many teams that have assets that could ascertain him, and the Wolves just need to blow this thing up. Absolutely, they've been mismanaged to hell. So I agree with you. I think if there is a side to this, you're definitely taking the Nets, but I think the under is absolutely a much better play. If you look at how these two teams have been playing defensively over the last 5 games, yes, the Wolves have been playing defense over the last 5 games. These two teams ranked 4th and 5th respectfully in defensive rating in their last 5 games. Oh, and 28th and 29th offensively in offensive rating. So you got the Nets on the road where they don't play very good offense. Oh, they're going to win this game with defense, and if Wiggins and Towns are both out, which it looks like they probably will be, I sincerely doubt the Wolves are going to even score 100 points in this game. Like I'm going to go that far and say that I think they're probably going to be at 99 or less. I'm not sure what their team total is right now. It looks like it's 107. So that may be the play too. Is Wolves under 107.5 points too? If both those guys are out as well. Just the way I know I want to touch on something Junior said too. The Nets do have a tendency to not play as good a defense on the road, but I think also that with the Wolves' injury situation, their pace has been plummeting, which I think is a huge underrated factor in this total. I was surprised to see it this high at 220, just because the Wolves haven't been playing that fast. Their pace is down at least 3 possessions per game over their last 5 as well without those guys. So they really don't have much options offensively. And I think with all that considered, I think the under is definitely the play here. It's my one official play of this slate, and I actually do like it a lot where I got it, considering the news I think is going to fall in our favor on this one.
Yeah, and if Wiggins out, I mean, that's definitely on. You up to something there, man. You definitely talked me into it because this was one that definitely stuck out to me, especially the way that the Wolves been playing lately. Like you say, these are 4th and 5th defensive team in the last 5 games, and like you say, yep, the 29th. Let's see, 29th and 28th. The Wolves are 29th in offensive rating in the last 5. So you're exactly right there. I knew that the defense. I didn't look at the offense that deep because I know that they can kind of change depending on who the teams are playing. But you're exactly right there. Neither teams have been efficient there. And like you say, I mean, if they do come up with a little game plan and try to stop Dinwiddie, this game could go under easily. We need that, J-Mo. I got you. I'm gonna give out the college picks, man. That's what I'm strong on today. And Giannis and Bledsoe did just get ruled in, so Giannis is available to play tonight. For the people that, I mean, I thought he was gonna be out as well. It's going down to 6.5, but apparently you finna see it come back up. I guarantee you. It's probably getting took off the board right now. But yeah, I think the Nets the right side in that game. I don't think Timberwolves want to win. And if Wiggins don't want to, hey, he can go get traded somewhere else too. You can go and sit out too, so I can just fade the Timberwolves to take the under every game, and I need to make some money, run some bands. So I appreciate you, Wiggins. You just I'm sick. You still gonna get paid, man. You'll be all right. Let's get to the next game, man. We got Detroit versus Utah here. It's another one. When the Jazz been playing really nice, man. This is one that I wanted to take the under, but ever since they got Clarkson, he's looked damn good. He had 19 points last game versus the Clippers, and I was on them. Plus, tonight I didn't think they was going to go and beat the Clippers like that by 13. I knew it was a letdown spot for them. I thought the Clippers probably come and win by 3 or 4 or something. But the Jazz was on their ass and got down early in that game by 10, 11 points in the first quarter. I'm like, damn, this is a bad pick. Nope, they stayed in the whole time, close to 3 at halftime. And second half, just smashed the Clippers. But I couldn't believe they had pretty much everybody out there other than Harrell. That was pretty crazy there. The Jazz, they've been playing a lot better lately. I don't want to lay the 9.5 here with that's the only way I could look in this game. I'm leaning towards the Jazz here. I do think it's a little much. They're coming off a huge game, but the way they've been playing, then you got Detroit. Griffin's not gonna play. Kennard's not gonna play. I think they're gonna be in a tough spot here tonight. I was thinking laying towards the under because I don't think that the Pistons scored many points. You look at the last 2 games, man, their games in touch 235 points at least, man. So I'm staying away from the under there. I lean towards the Jazz. I do think it's a high spread, but the way they've been playing lately, man, they've been busting ass. Hopefully it's not a letdown spot for them. I do think this is a bet against spot for Detroit, though. But like I say, this is not what I'm forced to play on, but I'll let you guys know where I'm leaning or the only way that I could play it. What you thinking in this spot, Junior?
I got Jazz full game and first half. I just like the way the Jazz have been looking, and I'm actually going to start fading Detroit pretty heavy. They're about to go on a 6-game road trip where they're going to play the Lakers, the Clippers, and this Jazz team. I think that they're going to lose all of those games. I'm going to be fading them in all those games. I know the spreads are probably going to get kind of ridiculous, but even with Blake Griffin, I think one of the most underreported stories.
Oh, what you got? What you got on this game, Jordan?
Yo, my bad. We'll see if we can get Junior back. But yeah, I'm gonna just build off something Junior was talking about here. Detroit is in that really weird spot in the Eastern Conference where they could still compete, but do they really want to compete for that 8th spot in the Eastern Conference playoffs? Or do they want another lottery pick? The answer is probably the latter. And so that's probably what Junior, I think, was getting into a little bit here. And with Griffin doubtful, Luke Kennard's out. I think Junior talked about this the last time we were all 3 on the show and the Pistons were on the card and they were on the road. Without Luke Kennard, they just don't have a whole lot of guys that can initiate offense. Reggie Jackson obviously has been out most of the year. They've been running Bruce Browne, who's more of a shooting guard at the point guard, and running the offense through Kennard as kind of a de facto point guard on the half-court sets. Now you got Griffin out, who's also a guy you can initiate offense through. Exactly. Against a really good defensive team, they may really struggle to score here. So, yeah, I think that's probably where I'd be leaning to. I'd probably lean more towards the first half than the full game because it's just a ton of points. And I'm not really ready to trust this Utah team just yet because they haven't played a whole lot defense over their last 5 games either, if you look at those stats. So, a couple red flags on the full game here. So, if there is a play, I think I'd probably lean towards the Jazz in the first half, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to get the full game on him here yet. I see we got Junior back. You want to go ahead and take back over and finish what you were saying?
No, you're good. I was just saying that even with Blake Griffin, bro, Blake Griffin looks like he's horrible right now. He's actually making them worse. So who knows what we're going to get from these guys without him. What's that?
I can't say Griffin played good versus Wizards when I needed them. Other than that, I hadn't been on the Pistons. But that game versus Wizards, Blake Griffin came to play, and I was glad that he did. Obviously, that was versus Wizards, but I had only bet on that game, so I know he played good in that one. But that's all I had to say. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's all good. But look, that's how bad Blake Griffin's been. Because in that game, he had 14 points. Because I kind of watched that game. In the last 10 games, he's averaging 12 points a game on 29% shooting from the field. So without Griffin, without Kennard, this turns into the Derrick Rose, Andre Drummond show, which is, it's not horrible because Derrick Rose obviously looks like he's got his first step back. He doesn't have the hops back, but he's still pretty quick, athletic, looks like he's playing really well. But that just makes their bench weaker, right? Because if you really look at the depth of this team, they're not really that deep of a team. They don't really have that very many good players coming off the bench. And I think that when you take Griffin and Kennard out of the lineup, 2 guys that can get their own shot at any time, now you're just relying on Derrick Rose to get the majority of the shots I just think it's going to be tough. It's Derrick Rose is better off at this point in his career where he's taking like 12, 13 shots a game, not like 18, 20 shots a game. So I just think over there in Salt Lake City, it's going to be rough for these boys.
Yeah, I think so too, especially the way they've been playing. The Jazz are looking like the team that they were supposed to be this year. And like I said on Twitter, who's Conley? Who's Mike Conley? Who is that? Is he still playing in the league or what? Do the Jazz need him? I think they should trade his ass away, bro. I mean, I'm not saying because they got Clarkson and they look good right now, but right now the Jazz are playing the best ball of the season, and it's without their fucking $1 million point guard that was supposed to come make everything better. Conley has looked terrible over there, and I think they should trade him, man. I think they should trade. I know it's probably a hot take. It sounds crazy, but the way they're playing right now, I think that this is the Jazz team we thought they were going to be. What for some reason Conley in there, I don't know. I don't know what it is because he's a good player, a good defensive guard, getting older. I don't know what the hell the deal is. Just real quick, do you have any thoughts on that, Jordan, on what I said?
I am not going to go so far as to say that the Jazz are better without Mike Conley. He's also the pride of Indianapolis as well, so I can't say anything bad about him while residing in the city because he's from here and went to high school here. But yeah, I think that he just hasn't had a whole lot of time to assimilate into this offense, and I think he struggled with his shot really early in the year, and now has had some injury issues. So I think there's a lot of factors at play here, but I do agree it's very telling that they've been playing better without him, simply because it frees up guys like Bogdanovich to have more shots and get into more of a rhythm. It frees up guys. If Donnie Mitchell running the offense, I think is better for them in the long term anyway. So I think you are right, I think, in certain aspects, but I just think he hasn't had a whole lot of time to assimilate, and they just haven't figured out the rotations just yet with him on the court. They still got some time. We still got over half the season yet, but yeah, it's gonna be real hard to trade that contract, man. I don't know about that. I think he's in it for the while that he's under contract still with the Jazz.
Exactly, and that's tough that he gets paid so much. It really is. I don't have nothing to say about it, man. We'll get to this next game, and then I'll give you guys the couch picks when we run through everything. Phoenix versus Portland. Don't have a whole lot on it. I know Portland will come in here pissed. They did just beat Phoenix by 1 point over there in Phoenix, so they show they can win. I know me personally, the way I look at shit, I'm sorry, I don't think that Portland is a bet on team. I know they're a really good team at the house. I do not like the the Trailblazers in certain spots, maybe. I mean, they lost 3 straight games. I don't think that's a fluke whatsoever. I did not like. You got CJ McCollum and you got what's the guy's name that I'm always banking on? We don't have time to it, but they have the past 3 games. Obviously, CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard, they're gonna do what they do. The rest of the team is absolute ass. I don't care what nobody says, man. If Lillard and McCollum need to go off every night, I mean, yeah, you got Whiteside as well. He plays. Who's the player? Simon. So I'm always bagging on. He did get a dunk last game versus 3 Lakers, but I hate this Blazers team, man. They are total trash in my opinion. Versus certain spots they could be good. I know they're gonna be pissed off here. They showed they could beat the Suns already. Barely in their house, so we'll see if they can get off the schneid here. I know the last game they gave up 128 versus Lakers, so it'll be interesting to see if the Blazers here come to play some defense. Not a big fan of the way the Suns been playing. I think this could be a sneaky under here. That's all I have on the game, man. Run through your plays, Jordan, and tell them what you got on this one real quick.
Yeah, real quick on this game particularly, I am really close to taking the points with the Suns in the first half just because I really don't like the way the Blazers have been playing defensively, even at home. They're just not very good, and they lost another front court piece. Skal Labissiere was one of their only other guys 6'10" or bigger other than Whiteside, so if Whiteside gets into foul trouble or is not playing effectively tonight, they're actually in trouble, and that's crazy saying that against the Phoenix Suns. But I think they're probably a pretty good play in the first half here. That might be my only other official play. It's just a lean at this point, but I probably will jump on it later. And the other one I got is under 220 in Brooklyn and Minnesota, hoping for those Minnesota boys to keep tanking. And I did just jump on the Bucks when I saw Giannis was in at 6.5, and now that's up to 8. So feeling great about that one. So. Hoping for some good vibes tonight. What about you guys? You want to run through your plays real quick, Junior?
Yeah, I'll just be really quick. I got Miami first half full game, Utah first half full game, and I got Magic first half. As for this Portland Phoenix game, I got nothing on this game. These two teams are just so random right now. There's no consistency whatsoever. I don't like the way Portland's defense looks at all. But that's not surprising, right? Because I keep saying over and over, even though they've added Carmelo Anthony, they still probably, other than Carmelo, have the worst forwards in the league. And obviously that's going to hurt you on the defensive end. So what about you, Jay? What's up?
Exactly. I wanted to take the under in Detroit versus Utah. I'm leaning that way. I hadn't got there. No play on the Phoenix and Portland, like you say, two tricky teams. Portland, in theory, should be pissed off. They're coming off 3 straight losses. They don't have any bigs, bro. They don't have any CJ and Dame. That's it, bro. You got to rely on them too. I don't like top heavy teams, bro. I can't, because if the one of them are having a bad game, it tells on the scoreboard, man. I like the Nets tonight, man. I like the Nets, especially if Wiggins out. I hadn't bet this one yet either, but I'm definitely gonna ride with that under with my guy Jordan. I liked it. I was leaning that way. He talked me into it. He's on it, so I have to ride it now. And I did take the under in Atlanta and Orlando. I thought, me looking at the card, I thought that was the best play on the board. I did get it 211.5. It's going back up now, 209.5. So it is a pretty low total. I'm not super strong on it, like I want to be. I mean, a few key missing parts here, but we'll see. I did bet the under though, and I'm going to take the under in the Nets and Minnesota game, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hop on the Nets as well. Now to college. This is where it's at today. I'm telling y'all, man. This is where it's at. So college plays I got today. I'm on Xavier. I'm on Xavier plus the 6.5. It's down to 6 now. Small play on Delaware versus College of Charleston. It's gonna be a huge game there, but I still think Delaware has the edge there at the house. Went down to 2, even a better number now. So I'm definitely Delaware. Small play though. Small play. Let's see. My biggest play of the day is DePaul. I did get on DePaul minus 1.5. Obviously, Seton Hall still missing Powell. They done won the past 2 games. Won the past game without him. I don't think they're winning this one without Powell. They need him in a spot like this. And really, even if he was out there, I still think that DePaul would edge them. They got like 7 transfers this year. They're a much better team than they were last year. They finna win this fucking game. Let's see. I got Vanderbilt the -1 versus Davidson. It's up to 2 now, but I do like Vanderbilt at the house. And another play I'm on Chicago State, man, plus 34 points versus Missouri. They lost to Connecticut State or Connecticut Southern, some shit like that, man. Missouri should not be laying this many points. They got Kentucky on deck. They finna start conference play next game. There's no way in hell where they should be laying 34 points. I mean, they could come out here and blow Chicago State out by 40, but I mean, I'm on Chicago State plus the 34, man. And one more play that I do have, I'm on Tulane. I did get it at plus 15.5. It's down to 14 now versus Memphis. I think Tulane can keep this game within 10 points, man. Y'all know what's up. We're trying to cash some tickets, trying to break the books. I got a couple of local books here that's probably finna kick me out, man. So I probably have to find another few local books or, you know what I'm saying, try to go back to my online shit. But we getting cash, man, stacking up bands, making the bookies pay for all my son's Christmas present and his birthday on January 15th. I got to get to it, man. We out. Leche, Alos Bookmaker.